Hey, what's going on, guys? Kid here, and today I want to talk about retro game collecting and what you need to do, some tips and tricks, behind how I've obviously built my collection, how I've seen other people build theirs, and I want to give some of my own input on this whole subject. So, as you can see, I've got several different systems and games. I've obviously got a Game Boy Advance SP, I've got a Sega Mega Drive CD of Soul Feast, and also it's got a thing of Cobra Command on the back, which is a data race game. Game Gear, and obviously it's 2DS. Now, none of these are still being made. None of them are in production anymore. So it's prime time to start collecting some of them. To be fair, now obviously when it comes to collecting games and systems, you obviously got to make sure they work. So if say you're going on like Facebook Marketplace or you're looking, say eBay, you should always ask for a video of the system working. Ask them to show you a video of like them turning it on or it playing a game, just so you know that those systems do work or those games do work. It's pretty basic knowledge, pretty common sense stuff, but that's just the first point I want to make because a lot of people don't have common sense nowadays, so that'd be fun. So, when it comes to the actual games themselves, right, it comes down to specifics of what you're looking for. If you're going for complete in box, be ready to pay out a fortune for some games. Some games are like 300, 500, thousands of dollars or whatnot for it. Well, be careful with that because some of those games aren't really worth that price. That's just the price that the artificial market has obviously said those games are worth. So people are assuming, hey, this game's worth this much money because someone else on eBay is selling it for this much money. And also, water grading has also been a big issue with retro game collecting because obviously, water are grading games, even reproduction carts as well, as these like high quality factory sealed products, and they're not. So be careful of that. Second of all, another point I want to make is focus on one system at a time, right? Don't decide, hey, I'm going to collect for the Mega Drive, and then after you get like 5 games for like, I'm going to get Super Nintendo as well, then we get GameCube and Game Boy Advance. Because you do that, you're going to spend out a fortune, and you're never going to complete the collection that you're trying to complete. So what I recommend doing is making a list of games and systems that you personally want to get your hands on, and look through them and try and find which one you want the most, which ones mean the most to you, and then go off of that. Get those games and systems first, and then slowly build out your collection in other areas, like say buy a new console, buy a new handheld, etc. Likewise, another thing that I have done in the past, and I say in the past, as in when I was like 16, 17, is I used to go on places like eBay and Facebook Marketplace with some friends, and we would do what we refer to as a buddy bid, where what we would do is we'd go for like bundles of games, and I would obviously go to the guy first. I'm like, hey, I'll buy these ones off you for this price. And my mate would go and like buy ones I didn't buy for a price. And obviously we would negotiate between each other over who would buy the others off of each other. So like, say I bought, I don't know, 3 Super Nintendo games, and then my mate bought 3 Mega Drive games. We would obviously talk about who'd buy what off each other, or like if we was going to keep it for our own stuff. But I haven't done that since like 16, 17, which is about 3 years ago now, which is 3, 4 years ago now. It's pretty crazy, easy to think about. But buddy bidding is a good option if you want to try and like get into getting some cheap games. But it also depends on what you're willing to pay for the games and what the games actually are. So be careful with that because your friend may end up backstabbing you like mine did, and yeah, you may get a bad rep for it. So don't do that unless you're really willing to have issues. Another thing that I would do, I would obviously go around to charity shops and thrift stores to try and find any loose games, whether they be like Xbox 360, Wii, something like that. Don't always go to like your mainstream like trading shops like Cash Converters, Cash Generator, or Exchange, which is known as, it's called Complete Exchange, but obviously it's like CEX in the UK. Yeah, don't go to them unless you're desperate because their prices are ludicrous. Like my Game Boy Advance, I bought from them a few years ago for £45. They're now charging £90 for most of the Game Boy Advances in their stock, which is crazy. And I just bought another Game Boy Advance from CX, Pearl Pink one. That cost me like £67, which was just mad. And obviously, I bought one on eBay as well for £63. So don't ask why I have to. I bought 2 Pearl Pink ones just because I wanted too. So that'll be nice. But yeah, when it just comes down to it, also think about what you want specifically when it comes to retro gaming collection and what your main goal is. Like, are you collecting for a rainy day? Are you collecting to have some of your childhood games? Are you collecting to obviously build a library? Are you collecting to sell it later on? Think about what you want to do and what specifically you want to do. Also, I recommend going for games and systems that are in reach of you financially. One system I personally want to acquire is a Super ACAN, but I know that I cannot afford to buy a Super ACAN because there's so few of them, and they're thousands of thousands of thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. So, which is money I don't have. So, would advise if you're going to go for like some sort of like niche console, like say the Virtual Boy or the Atari Jaguar, make sure you have the money to actually afford the system and the games and still live a comfortable life and not have to worry about, finances. Anyway, guys, these are just a few of my tips and tricks on retro gaming collecting in 2023. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there anything that I've missed? Anything like that? Let me know in the comments down below. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, turn notifications. I've been Keith, and I'm signing out. Peace.